Basham, and I'm coming to you live from the Hive here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. It is the 23rd of February today. Woo! 1 week and counting until we are already wrapped up with the second month of the year. Where does that time go? I don't know. Doesn't it feel like we just were at January 1st? And here we are. Just craziness. So we have a great class coming up for you. It's called the Let's Just Stamp Pop-Up Petals. The Let's Just Stamp class series is something that Diane Bogenhagen and I started back in 2021. So what are we on? We're going on our 5th year. Isn't that crazy? Right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, we're on our 5th year. I think our very first class was in July. So we'll have 5 full years coming up soon. So this was way back when I started doing classes, I did a beginner's class, and then I kind of stopped because a lot of my beginners became more casual avid crafters and not classified as beginners anymore. And so I took a few years off of doing beginner classes, and then I realized that having a discussion with Tyler, he said, you should have another beginner's class. And it's like, oh, me on more classes. Just like I need another hole in the head, I need to do more classes. But I thought, well, if I had somebody I could do them with, that would help. So Diane and I designed the cards together, and then she teaches the in-person version here in the Hive, and then I teach the online version. So that helps a little bit to have not having to do everything. And then she helps me with the designing and the kitting, and so it makes for a really great class. And so this is our class that's geared more towards beginners, but we say all are welcome because sometimes you just want a card that isn't necessarily over the top, all crazy layers all the time. Sometimes we make and it's really hard to make beginners classes not like that. So in the beginning, we made it a rule that we couldn't use a die cutting machine for embossing or die cutting, and we didn't want to use punches. Well, it's been 5 years, and it's hard to design cards without those tools. And so we've kind of went by the wayside with some of the strictness of that. And you'll see it with this one in particular, this Let's Just Stamp class. We pulled in some die cutting, we pulled in some embossing. I don't know if we have any punching, but and we have a fun fold. So we're kind of saying it's a beginner's class, but it's geared for all. What we try to do for this class is we try to keep it to one stamp set. And the stamp set that we picked for this one is called Pop-Up Petals. And I'm trying to think where I even have it sitting right now. I did grab it. Yeah, it's sitting around somewhere. I got totally distracted and I thought, go live fast. Because I was already tardy. But I'll find it. It's sitting around me somewhere. And so what we like to find are stamp sets that have words or sentiments along with focal images. So if somebody wants to redo this class or reproduce this class and get kits from us, then what happens is you just would need one stamp set, and you could generally make it work with some other ink pads or ink colors and then adhesives. Now in this one in particularly, we'll have a little bit of stamping, and then you could fussy cut out your focal images or you could die cut them. So am I on mute? No, I'm not on mute. Okay. Oh, my phone vibrated, and then normally when my phone vibrates right after I go live, it's somebody calling to tell me that I'm still on mute. But I made sure that I wasn't on mute. Oh man, that wouldn't have been good. But here we are. So just a little heads up, Jolene got me the tutorial in my inbox at 12:43. So about 30 minutes ago. And that didn't give us enough time. It was great she got it done. One of the things that we like to do before we send it out is we like to proofread it. So we need to take some time to proofread it. So I did send an email out to, I think there's like 40 some people that are registered for class. So even if I can't get the tutorial out to you in time, I do email you letting you know that you're on the class list. So there are 48 people that I did email just right before at like maybe 10 minutes to 1, letting you know that the tutorial's coming. We got it in the inbox. It needs to be proofread. I hate to send PDF tutorials out before they're proofread because needless to say, somebody finds something all the time. And so we do our best to make a spot on 100% perfect tutorial, but you guys, sometimes we type things and inadvertently we type a quarter instead of a half or vice versa or whatever it might be. And so Karen Wetstein will look at that with me this afternoon. And then by the end of the night tonight, my goal is to have the PDF in your inbox. But in case you're wondering, if you signed up for this class, you'll find that email in your inbox just saying that the PDF tutorial is not ready yet. So we do our best to get it to you at least the day before class. I mean, that's always been like my stretch goal. We're trying to get back on track to sending them like at least 3 or 4 days prior to class, but there's always a lot. I've got Jolene running circles around PDF tutorials, and to throw in the mix, I've got the paper Palooza tutorial that is needing to get emailed out to everybody ASAP as well, because you guys, they were mailed out to you last week Tuesday. Or even, wait, you guys, those Paloozas are already in your, mailed out 2 weeks ago. So that's coming next, is the Palooza tutorial. So yay. So Jolene, you'll have to give me, I didn't hear what you said on that one, but hopefully, like, our goal was to have that to you guys by Saturday, and we ended up getting ink, paper, scissors done and the mystery card clues ready. So all we have left to do yet is get the Palooza done and in your inbox. So we're getting there little by little. So hello, everybody. I see that there's a bunch of you with me. Oh, Jolene said there's one punch in this class, so we'll figure out which one it is. Hi, Holly. There's Doris. Yeah, it's cold here too. Hi, Susan. Connie, I got your text about the Share, Create, Inspire recipe. So that's no problem. I looked in my drawer and I don't have one for February. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to skip Share, Create, Inspire for February, which was originally slated for this coming Wednesday. We're going to skip it, and we'll use your recipe card in March. And it just dawned on me that I was going to have Mary Lemke create a couple recipe cards for me before she left. I completely forgot. So we'll use yours in March. How does that sound, Connie? Hi, Deb. Hi, Mary Novak. And there's Jolene. Thanks for letting everybody know I was a little bit late. Yeah, we pushed it right to the envelope, we pushed the envelope, working as much as we could. It was a productive morning. We don't generally reproduce extra card kits, but we do. It's hard to go back and make, like, let's say one of a card kit, but if we have multiples, we'll do it. And we ended up doing 4 more of the Made with Love. We ended up doing 6 more of the paper pumpkin, which is pretty cool. We did another one of the Technique Club class, and we did 1 more of the Christmas Stamp-a-Stack. So Carmen Sanders is here helping me. She stayed after, like when she's in school, right? She stayed after the Leapers Crafting Retreat, and she's upstairs helping me. She helped me get everything die cut, embossed, prepped, staged for those extra kits that we decided to kit, or I should say I decided to kit. And now she's helping me sort out Palooza paper, so for the March peeps, which is pretty cool. So yay. Hi, Catherine. And so yeah, you guys, it's just a lot going on. And yeah, so Jolene, I saw, and I know Pat Bischoff mentioned that you guys have some bad cold weather coming your way, a snowstorm. When is it expected to make it your way? I guess I've been a little bit out of loop, except for people saying that there's a snowstorm. I think it started in North Carolina. It's working its way up. Hi, Julie. Julie Damaris. I have a box on the counter for you, and it's got Kelly's 12 Days of Crafting Fun, which came in, I think, before I even left for my vacation. But if I'm not mistaken, you were going to send me a list of what you wanted for February for classes. And I don't know if I made that up in my head or if I didn't. But if you wanted anything else for February, you got to let me know so I can put that in the box. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Jean Terwilliger. Holy crap. Yvonne said it snowed 25.5 inches on Long Island. Wow. I don't know. That's been a long time since I've seen 29.5 inches. Oh, yuck. Big time yuck. Oh, man. Hi, Debbie Gast. And there's Mary. And that must be the 15 plus card and project zone. I love it. That's awesome, Debbie. Hi, Rosalind. Rosalind, I saw your text about wanting a caramel cookie. My mom didn't make any caramel cookies, so I don't know where you mentioned in a post that, or a text message, that you were hoping to get a caramel cookie. My mom made for the Palooza, some people got molasses cookies and some people got peanut butter cookies, not caramel. So I don't know where you got caramel from, but I would have loved caramel cookies as well. That would have been very tasty. Hi, Laura Sullivan. And there's Maria. And Connie says March. Sounds good. Perfect. Okay. Well, that works for me. So we're going to, so you guys, just to talk about the calendar, we had a little bit of, it's crazy. The calendar, we do our best to stick to the calendar as much as possible, but you just heard we're going to move Share, Create, Inspire from this week, Wednesday, to just skip it altogether, and that's okay. It's not the first time we missed a Share, Create, Inspire, and I'm okay with that. I can live with it. After it happened the first time, I felt really bad that we missed one after how many years, but it's okay. So we're going to skip that. And then the first thing, Palooza. been waiting for the tutorial to come in so I could work my way through the tutorial as we were doing the live. And I don't have it. Jolene, I don't know when you're going to get it to me, but I can't wait for it anymore. I'm going to be doing the lives starting this afternoon, you guys. So I have, for anybody who signed up to do the Paper Palooza with me, you will receive, I have to send you an email because the tutorial was going to have all the links for you guys to watch the videos. And I was hoping to send that out prior to going live so that anybody who wanted to catch us live could catch us live. So what I have to do, I'll have to do it right after class. I'm going to stage an email that has all of the links, and I'll share those to everybody who's registered and paid for the event. And so what will happen is I'm going to be doing the welcome video right after this class is done. So let's say class is usually done around 3 o'clock today. I will hopefully be live by 3:30. I will do the welcome and introduction video, and then I'm going to go through and cut all of the designer paper for all 16 of the cards with you in that first video. Then I'm going to have a second video, which is cards 1 through 4. And Kelly's going to be doing that video tomorrow. I think Kelly's going to do that tomorrow. I don't know if I can squeeze that one in today, but I was hoping Kelly would do that one tomorrow. So Kelly's planning to go live tomorrow at 11. And what's going to happen is she'll do kit class in the morning from 9 to 10. And then 11, from probably 11 to 1, she's going to make the first 4 cards. Now, if for some reason I have the ability and the bandwidth to do the first 4 cards yet again today, or still today, I'll do them today. And then Kelly will do the second set of 4 cards tomorrow. But the goal is the welcome video after class today, and then first 4 cards tomorrow, and then that's Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, I think I'm planning to do another set of 4 cards, and I'm going to do that maybe around 11 o'clock on Wednesday. So like 11 to 1 is my plan for a set of 4 cards. And then Kelly's going to take another group of 4 cards and work on them on Thursday. And that is, the plan is like noon to 2. And then that leaves 4 cards left, unless I have some miraculously ability to get them done today. But I was looking to finish the last 4 with you on the 29th. And so there's 16 cards with the Palooza. Again, my goal was to send the PDF tutorial out to you guys already so that you had all the links and the instructions ahead of time so you could follow along with me with the tutorial while I was cutting paper, but it's not going to work that way. And so I apologize for that to everybody in advance. What's going to happen is as soon as the tutorial is ready, I'll email it to you. But what I'll do is before I go live today, I will at least send everybody the links for all 5 of the videos, because there's a welcome video and then there's 4 videos that will each have 4 cards. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about with the Paper Palooza, I have all of the cards here, and I still have the bandwidth for maybe 6 more people, I think. I think I have 6 more of this available, 6 to 8. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's what the Paper Palooza is a new event that we started last summer. So we did the annual Palooza last year. We did the fall Palooza. Now we have our 3rd Palooza. So we'll have a whole year of Paloozas here. And it features all the designer series papers that have just recently launched. So these are launching from November and also from January. Me, Kelly, and I designed 16 cards. And what we're going to do is we'll cut the paper as a group first and foremost. I'll do that. And that was one of the things that people had a hard time with from one of the last the last Paloozas, is that I did this with Amanda, and I believe that people told me Amanda didn't cut the paper and I cut the paper, and people liked that I cut the paper. So I'm going to make sure in the welcome video that I cut all the paper with you as a group. And then you will be able to hit the floor running, hit the ground running with everything ready to basically stamp and assemble. And so you'll get a 6x12 pack of each sheet that is offered from November and January. And then all the card kits have the gems in them and the ribbon in them cut to the size you need. And what you just need to do are add your own sentiments. There are really no focal images on any of the outsides of these cards, only on the inside. So really, you don't even need to own the stamp sets, which is pretty cool. So let's flip this down, and I'm going to show you really quick, because I do have... So the other thing that I offered real quick is we gave people the option of getting this in either February or March. And I'll tell you, if I have any left after March, they'll still be available. Like I still have, I don't know how, I can't figure out, I had one left from the annual catalog, and I waited for that person to get it until the fall. And then I put it out there in the fall, and now I don't remember who it was that said they wanted it. So if you were that person, I still have it for you. You'll have to help me remember. I don't remember who it is. And I'll keep saying that maybe a few more times, and then I'm going to put it out there. There were 21 cards that we did with the annual catalog Palooza last year. It's all here. And then I still have some left of the fall Palooza. So it's a great little event, and you can do it at your own pace whenever it works for you. But we've got all the different designer papers featured. This, I think, is my favorite one out of all 16 cards. And so with it, you got Prize Patrol. My mom will have, she had cookies in your box for you as well. There's that one. And then it's really cool. We use these laser cut pieces, and they got kind of interwoven in all the cards, which helped so that you didn't have to have focal images. And the insects are super cute. Oh man, you know what I should do for this one? I should have that die cut before we go live. Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that. And then we have a second insect card. We couldn't just do one, we had to do two. I like this one a lot. You guys, I'm a flower person, so I always am happy with flower cards. And I know we're after Valentine's Day, but that's okay. We'll leave for next year. And then we've got a St. Patrick's Day card. And then the Beach Boardwalk paper. And there, that one, I just had to share you guys. So this is a card from Nancy Haggard, and I got this in the mail for my birthday. And this is the card that we use for inspiration to make this card. And you might not even realize it, but really that's that's where we got the inspiration from. Just to goes to show you, it's exciting when we get inspiration from you guys. So Mary loves the cookies, yay. I love that you sent tasty treats. It too makes feel like we were there in the person. Yeah, Mom makes the best cookies too. So you guys, Paper Palooza is still available, and we're going to be working through, again, the videos all this week. So we did mail your packages out around the 9th, right? So 2 weeks ago. So by now, hopefully you've demolished the cookies so they're not there. If you haven't eaten your cookies yet, they're getting old. You might consider putting them in the microwave for 10 seconds or 8, or dipping them in your coffee, because that's what Tyler's been doing with the leftover cookies that he just hasn't gotten to eaten. They're in the microwave just being stored there so the cats don't eat them, because the cats have this tendency of finding anything on the counter. Even though they're not supposed to be on the counter, they have a tendency of finding their way on the counter, and they go for the popcorn bag. If we accidentally leave the popcorn bag, because we make our own popcorn at home when we're going to watch a movie, if we leave that popcorn bag out, they will eat through the plastic and have it on the floor with seasoning all over. And they will sometimes do that with cookies. So we've learned to store things in the microwave just for safekeeping. And so Tyler's forgotten about these cookies. And so I just reminded him today. I'm like, you need to start eating these coffee cookies. So, but yeah, so you guys, hopefully the cookies are eaten. We gave you some time to work through some of the monthly classes, and now we're getting ready to, this will be our Palooza week, getting the videos all done for you. All right, so that's a little bit of an update for anybody who's doing Palooza. I have my calendar here. There's a couple other things I want to talk about with regards to timing before we start making cards. So it's getting to be the end of the week, and people always start to ask, when is the showcase going to be? I have put the showcase on my calendar for Thursday, the 26th at 3 p.m. Central. So we're not quite done designing, but I think by Thursday we'll be safe. We got ink, paper, scissors designed yesterday, and Diane and I are going to design Let's Just Stamp on Wednesday, and I'm going to work on, after the welcome and cutting video that I do with the Palooza, we do have mystery card tonight, right? So that's coming for you. And somewhere in the middle of all that, I am going to work on designing. I have 2 more cards for the suite class and 2 more cards for the monthly class. So there's a lot of cards to get designed. And so, but the goal is to have that all ready by Wednesday so we can do the showcase Thursday at 3 p.m. Now, I'll also create the email. I'll create an event. I'll put it out on the Facebook page, so that'll all be out there, okay? So that's a little bit of an update, and it's not posted anywhere yet. I figured that out just yesterday. So we've got a little designing and then getting our helpers staged for stuff. We are still looking. Our goal is to ship all of the March classes by the end of the following week, which is the 6th, and or finishing that up by the 9th. So our goal is to have everything mailed out by the 9th. It kind of got tight here with designing and my helpers, and so we want to give them as much time to get the stuff prepped. But with that being said, I think we're going to keep it just to those the 4 core classes plus Rose's class. So that's 5 kitted classes for next month. We have On Stage coming up where a group of 20 of us are going, from my team are going, and that is in the middle of next month. And so we're trying to get everything mailed out before that happens. And then we're going to come back and hit the ground running and getting ready to design for April. Now, if you guys go to the paper schedule, there's a Stamp-a-Stack that is slated for March 18th in person and March 20th. I think to keep all of us sane around here, we're going to push the Stamp-a-Stack to April. I have to confirm the dates and we'll eventually update that calendar. But I feel like if we push the Stamp-a-Stack from March to April, it will give us a little bit more time to not be stressed with the designing and not be stressed with my helpers kitting up for a Stamp-a-Stack. So I think that that will help us with a little bit of breathing room. And so it makes it for a little bit lighter of a March for us. But when you go to April, it's going to be hot and heavy with classes. We have a game night in April. We'll have the Stamp-a-Stack in April. We have an in-color retirement class in April. And then we have all the core cards, the core classes in April. And we have a card benefit in April. Don't ask me why we are doing this to ourselves, but that's what we're doing. So, and we have a used stamp sale in April and a small business showcase. So our goal though is to, as soon as we're done designing here for March, we're going to put full swing and start to design already next week for April so that we can get ahead of that curveball for April as much as possible. And then that leads me to the card benefit. We haven't designed the cards for the card benefit yet. So I know in the past what happens is, but as soon as we design them, we put a recipe list, I should say a grocery list out there for people to help with the supplies, the materials. And just know, I think the first thing that we're going to work on for designing after we're done with designing for March, we're going to start working on the card benefit cards, the 6 cards. So people then can start ordering the materials for the benefit. Okay, so that's going to be the first card that we work on for designing, and then we'll probably roll into all the other ones. So just a little update on that so you guys have an idea of what's really going on, because those are questions I get enough that people are wondering. So I'm hoping to catch everybody with that before they start asking questions. And then this weekend, we just came out of a Leapers Crafting Retreat. We had 11 lovely ladies here working on all the things that they wanted to work on them by themselves. And then they did do some stuff as a group, which was really cool. And then this weekend we have our Silver to Silver Elite training. So the girls that want to know how to create Facebook events, or how do you do a YouTube channel, or what can I do to grow my business and move from potentially Silver to Silver Elite, we have that training. That's this Friday afternoon and Saturday. So always no rest for the weary, you guys. So, okay, that's a lot about what I have coming up. So those are the announcements. So let's see if I ate mine as soon as you opened the box. Good. I'm so happy. I think Chris Robinson did the same thing. I swear I sent a February request. I'll work on that this evening. I was thinking I should have, that I paid for some cards from Julie Biersbach. That is correct. And that is correct from Kelly. And you paid her for those, and yes. And you have the box of whatever it was from me. So the one thing for the requests for the class registration, you guys, you have to make sure you always go to the very end and hit submit. I've had at least a dozen people over the last couple months say, I thought I filled the form out. And then when they go back into it, it's all saved and they just had to hit submit. Okay. So just go back, Julie, and make sure you actually hit the submit button, because I didn't see it. You have a lot on my plate. Yes, always. And Margine Eskel said, and yes, do Stamp-a-Stack in April or maybe even May. Yeah. So that's definitely, it's definitely going to get pushed, Mimi. I do think that May is going to be hard too, because we have a Stampin' Fun in the Sun. So the Stampin' Fun in the Sun that's normally in June is going to be brought into May, and June is when we have the incentive trip. So I had to flip-flop those weeks. And so yes, definitely going to be moving the Stamp-a-Stack out to April or May though. Aunt Patty got 24 inches of the white stuff. Big yuck. Hi, Sherry Johnson from Bemidji, Minnesota. All right. So if anybody just is joining in now, just know I did talk a bit about what's all going on in the world of me. So, all right. Not the world in general. I don't know what's going on in the world in general. I'm in my own little bubble. So you guys, if you remember here, I have the resources section of my website. I'm trying to get to it right here, resources. And the last announcement I have on here is the Brush with Beauty class tutorial was sent last week. The February is already out. The days like this is out, the pumpkin is out, and I gotta delete some of this stuff. I will be updating this today and putting that the March class showcase is going to be coming up this Thursday. So I'll get that updated. And for anybody who's looking for information on the Stampin' on the Seas, the cruise that I'm doing, all you have to do is go to this announcement from the 25th of January and then click here. It takes you right to the information. And I even at the bottom here have the itinerary that you can see what day we depart and what cities we visit. And so that's all on here. Now, I don't have any update on the Stampin' side of things with it. Not even ready to like think about that yet. So, all right. I do want to just share a couple other things and then we'll get working on making our 3 cards. So I had mentioned that we kitted up a few more of the paper pumpkin class that Kelly did while I was away last week. I don't know, when I was on vacation recently. And it ended up that we were off on our count for the paper pumpkin boxes and that we actually have 2 more. So we kitted up 2 more sets of the paper pumpkin. And so if anybody feels like they missed out and still wants to get the full paper pumpkin for December, I've got 2 left of this, right? So you would get the box plus the kit. Now, I don't have any singles, right? All the single ladies are now married with their boxes, okay? So it's the December paper pumpkin altered and edited. You get this packet, plus you get the full pumpkin, okay? And that was $45 plus shipping. I don't have any of these by themselves because, quite honestly, I have 2 paper pumpkins and I want to be able to sell them with the kit, okay? So that is available. And what that ended up with is you made the 3 cards per the design of the pumpkin, right? We wanted you to experience putting the paper pumpkin cards together, right? And then what we did is we made 4 more designs, and 3 of them were like fun folds, but easier fun folds. This is a gatefold with a belly band, and we made a trifold card like this. And I just learned from Kelly yesterday that for anybody who got this kit with us, we forgot that there was an inside Lost Lagoon mat here. Totally missed it. We had both of the peacock pieces here, for each card, but what happened is there's a Lost Lagoon mat here, and there's one here, and we missed one here. So if anybody needs me to mail you a Lost Lagoon, I am always willing to send that your way. You just gotta let me know, and if you have Lost Lagoon and want to cut your own mat, you could, but it was the inside mat that we missed. So there's that one, and then this one was really cool because we used the envelope to make this card, and this one isn't a fun fold, but we made sure to double mat it, and then we made an easel card. So what I have left are 2 full-size class for this, where you get, so you make 8 of these, so 2 designs times 4 cards is 8, plus you make these 3. And again, I have 2 full sets here of that class. Just thought I'd share that. And then the class that's coming up next, this Thursday night, I just want to remind everybody we have ink, paper, scissors on Thursday night, and we're going to be making the lovely and beautiful cards here. And so those are available yet. I have plenty. I might have like maybe 15 or 12 left of this class. I don't quite remember, but you can still get this class, and we can always mail it in March, or we can mail it now separately if you want. So that is still coming up yet this week. And I mentioned I got mystery card night with you tonight, right? And then Karen Forward left these for me to share with you again. She already did this class, but she's going to be doing it again, I think on May 1st. And you can pick either one of these color palettes or patterns, and it's a stationery box with tags and cards, and then it comes with 4 envelopes, and then you make 4 little baby cards. It is the perfect present for somebody, and it's got a calendar on it. So cool. So that is coming up. So she did it already, and she had quite the audience that wanted to do it. She had it already, and then she's going to be doing it again. So super cool. And she does offer this to go. So if you want to get this kitted and mailed, you just have to reach out to Karen Forward. Now, if you're wondering how you get a hold of Karen Forward, I have the best way for you guys to get a hold of anybody on my team who does classes. If you go to the resources tab and then go down to where the resources are here, where the calendar is. On the calendar at the top, It has all the contact information for the people that teach classes here with me. So Diane's here, Julie Bierschbach, Gina, Carissa, Rose, Kelly, Karen Forward, and Shelly Schultz. All those girls are the ones doing classes with me in the Hive, some by themselves and some in coordination with me. And like for this one, Karen Forward does this class by herself. So you could just call her or text her, and if you want her email address, you could text her and ask her for her email address. But if you are afraid to call or text her, you can always email me and I'll forward her email to you. I'll forward your email to her, all right? So that just a little side note that's on the top of every one of those sheets that are part of the calendar, okay? So the other thing too is Bonnie and Lisa have class in here tomorrow night, an oldies but goodies class. And if you are on Facebook, I just sent that information out this morning for that class if anybody wants to do that with them tomorrow night. So lots of stuff, so many things, so many classes, so little time. So we're going to be featuring the Pop-Up Petals or Pop-Up Petals cards. I think this one's my favorite, and it's probably going to be a lot of your favorite too. It's a card inside of a card, and it opens like this, and it's like that. It's so cute. So cute. Love it. So we're going to make these 3 cards today. And for those of you who did class with me, you'll have a golden ticket on the top with it saying Pop-Up Petals, and let's just stamp today's date is the 23rd. So this golden ticket is important. You keep this with your 3 card kits until you make the cards, because that will help you remember what the name of the class is, for you to look for the tutorial when it gets sent to you. It'll also help you look for the YouTube video, or you could always look on my events calendar. So one of the things that I like to remind people is if you go to my events calendar for today's date and look for this class, so the 23rd, and click on it. If you're ever looking for the YouTube video, the easiest way right off the bat is underneath the cover photo. I always have catch the replay by clicking here, and it takes you straight to it. Okay, so then you don't have to go searching all over the YouTube land looking for the video. It's like boom right there. Okay, so that's important. And then I have a note here. Oh, the gems in here, place this card under the golden ticket. Okay, perfect. So my helpers left me a note saying that your top card here is the one that should have all the gems. So the gems for this are the Pearls of Beauty. And there are 3 colors of gems in the pack. There's the coral, the crumb cake, and then the white. And what happens is when you open this one up, you'll find that all the gems for the 3 cards are in this first one. So we'll start with this one and put our gems off to the side. All right, so you'll have 9 gems in this top card. So we'll start with that one, and then we'll save these for a little bit later when we get done with this one. All right, so let's see what we've got. You've got your white envelope. It's always a good idea to look in there to make sure there's nothing else floating in there. And you'll have 2 fresh freesia pieces. One's for the top and one's for our double mat on the inside. So with Let's Just Stamp and ink, paper, scissors, we double mat them. And so you'll have your white and your freesia for the inside, your double matting. Now we did use a little bit of retired ribbon. This is the 1/4 inch. It's a fraying ribbon, but we had enough of it, so we thought it looked really nice on the side there. So we gave everybody like 5 inches of that. I gotta find the stamps. Hang on 1 second. Where would I have set them in the dies? I gotta show you what we're working with here. Oh, there they are. Perfect. I had them in my hands when I went to go get the die cutting machine, and I set them right on the counter where I pulled the die cutting machine out of, so that helped. Your email called this class, oh man, Words and Petals. Oh, you know why? I believe you, Catherine. I'll fix that when I actually send the official, okay, so that's good to know. I grabbed last month's, and I was in a hurry because it was like 7 minutes to or 10 minutes to 1. And when you are in a hurry, you make mistakes even more. I'm not, you don't, you maybe don't, but I do. So when I go to send out the real email with the tutorial, I'll make sure that it says, hi, Pop-Up Petals class LJS people. That's right. I'll make sure that's right. I can totally tell that exactly happened because I was rushed, and when I rush, I make mistakes. And so thanks for pointing that out though, so I can make sure I fix that for the one that actually has the PDF tutorial in it. So let's just talk about this really quick. We're working with Pop-Up Petals. This is, I think it was an online exclusive that launched in November would be my guess. And so it's got all these stamps which have vases and pots and then the flowers to go with them and a bunch of different sentiments. And then these are the dies. And you're going to probably think that this one looks really weird, and it does, as do those. And I'll show you on the card that actually has the little card inside the card. That's where we use those. But this is where the little pot came from, that little guy. And the flowers, we'll end up using, well, interesting. Those don't have a die. That's really odd. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Those apparently don't have a die, so we'll be fussy cutting them, but that's okay. So that's what we've got for the bundle. And for here, so you've got your pot. This is a punch. We punched this out of a 2 and a 3/8 inch punch. And then this old olive was cut out of the stylish shape circle. And so that fits right in there. You see just a little baby border. Okay. And then you have the designer paper that we use is from Lovely and Beautiful for all 3 of these cards. And what you can see here is there's one piece of designer paper, but there's 2 pieces over here. So how it works is you're going to have to use your cutter and cut it at 5/8 of an inch, right? So it is 2 inches at the moment. And let me just see here. There's my baby cutter. So when you cut this at 5/8, it leaves the balance for this other piece right here. So on your trimmer, you are going to have to do this. We didn't do this for everybody. You're going to cut it at 5/8 of an inch. Right, so that piece there is correct now, and that leaves enough for that piece. Good. And then you have a little piece of gold here that will go right in the middle. So you do have to do a little bit of cutting. Did I have anything from Gina this time? Maybe. You'd have to ask Gina. She didn't bring me anything that I remember. So, I mean, it hasn't been since I got back. So you might just reach out to her and ask her if there was anything for her that she needed to get over here. I like to make sure I get my quarters lined up and then burnish your edge here. Susan Devine, you're late to the party, but better late than never, right? All right, so we're gonna glue these first. And I don't have them quite all even, and I don't know if I meant to do that, but I have a little bit more space here, and then I made these 2 be equal. And that's completely up to you how you want to do it. But we're going to flip this one over and add a little strip of glue. We're going to start with the end one here. And I'm going to make sure that the top is flush. And then I can always trim the bottom if I need to. And make sure that you have the same amount of space that you do on the top and the bottom from the edge. In other words, try to keep it straight. Now for gold foil, or silver foil, I don't like to use liquid glue because I feel that when you do use liquid glue, like a line of it, you see that pop up weird. So I like to use tear and tape when I am using foils to adhere them. So we're gonna grab, look at that was the right amount. Nice. So tear and tape is what I'm gonna use. And I'm gonna again have it flush at the top. And drop this down. Make sure you're eyeballed, and once it's exactly where you want it, press it down good. And then we're gonna flip that over and put that at the top again. And I'm gonna try to get the same distance of fresh freesia on all 3 gaps there. Looking good. Right, so flush at the top. And then what we can do is look at the bottom here, and if anything needs to get trimmed, take your scissors, use the fresh freesia as a guide. Don't cut the fresh freesia, but just keep your scissors lined up right to it. And now you've got the bottom flush as well. Right, so that's not so crazy. And then what we can do is flip this over, and let's adhere that to the front of the card. I will say, if you want to alter this in any way to maybe enhance it, you could emboss this. We chose not to. We thought it looked nice and clean on the side, but if you have something subtle like the subtle embossing folder or the tasteful textiles, those are two of my favorite embossing folders of all time, you could definitely emboss something. We didn't want anything really too busy, and they don't have anything subtle like that right now, and so we left it blank for you. But if you do want to emboss it, I would definitely emboss it before you start gluing your strips down. All right, so that goes to the front. And now what we're gonna do is grab some ink and some stamps. So in this one we have You're the Best. You're better than all the rest. You're one in a million girls. And where do you come from? You come from fabulous sayings and on display. Okay, one moment, please. I didn't do my homework and pull those ahead, but they should be right here. Okay, couple stamp sets that we brought in just for words. So choose your words. We have Fabulous Sayings, which is the product of the month, and I believe it just ran out of stock, so you can't buy this one anymore, but that's the thank you. And then You're the Best comes from this one. So let's move the tape so I don't bury it. And this little guy. And we need a little... Oh, did you guys see what I had here? This is ink, paper, scissors for next month, and we got them done yesterday. So at the end of class, I will share them with you so that you can see what is coming up with these cute bugs for next month. All right, so we need Old Olive. And when we stamp this, we want to make sure that we're to the left a little bit. So I'm going to set the pot here for good measure. And Old Olive, You're the Best fits really perfectly there. So when we're designing cards, we don't always know what we're going to use the card for the sentiment. What we do is we find the sentiment that fits where we need to stamp it. And so that's how we ended up with You're the Best for this one. Okay, so there's You're the Best. You're one in a million girls. One in a million girls. Now, that's going to be in your head for the rest of the day because that's that kind of a song to me. I'm going to do thanks, thank you, no thank you. I think we've got that in green, and then we got flowers. Let's put the thank you there. And we'll grab some fresh freesia, and we need some daffodil yet. Now, I'm just starting to think there's got to be a little scrap paper somewhere that is used for the flowers. I'm thinking about that because I think it must be in one of the other card kits would be my guess. Let's get you clean and you clean. I think that's it for these two sets for right now. So let's put them away. And we'll grab the pop of Petals. Oh my goodness, you guys. Do you ever wonder like how we work in such, or why we work in such tight little confined spaces? Oh, everything's always on top of each other, it seems. All right, we need these guys. And then they have the little circlies that go in the middle. So we'll do fresh freesia for the flowers. Margine is loving the card. Good. So when you see this card, and let's say you're not a purple and green fan, but like look at the layout for the card. Adding a piece of foil or glimmer paper here, and then using your designer paper. So because this is 2 inches by 5 1/4, if you get one sheet of designer paper that's 12 by 12, you get 6 plus 6. You get 12 of these mats out of that 12 by 12 sheet. So super cool. So it's easy layout. I just absolutely love this layout. The inside, we have some flowers. Let's put them like that. And I'm thinking that in these card kits, there's gotta be a piece of white for stamping or stuff on it. And I'm wondering if I wonder who wrote the Book of Love. Not there. Well, golly gosh. I'm gonna have to ask Diane in person if what she did for the white paper for people. Oh, she didn't have this class yet. I wonder if we forgot to put a little scrap of white paper for everybody. So, that'll be interesting. Who's got their card kits with them right now? You'll have to do me. I think we intended to put a piece of white paper. I think we intended to put a piece of white scrap in with the card kits underneath the golden ticket, and I think that we may have missed the boat on that one. So I'm just gonna grab this is a scrap right now, because we really only need about this much white paper for scraps. So we're gonna have to see about this. And then we're gonna do here, Jolene says there is stamping for another card. Maybe there's a bigger piece. Yeah, we'll find it in a little bit. And if we don't find it, then it's not there. So all 3 of the cards actually have stamping and then cutting of focal images, because this one has that and this one has that, and there's stuff on the inside. I'm thinking that I think I forgot to have us include extra scrap of white in there. That would be my guess. So the circles fit really nicely right in the middle. So again, this is my inside piece. There. All right, so that'll be the inside. And we're not quite done. There's actually a little butterfly right here in the pop-up petals. And that little butterfly will also get stamped. I'm going to guess and just put it over on the side here. He goes like right there. And why don't we just put another one in the inside? Okay. So I think that should be it for stamping now. Debbie guessed that she starts out with a 24-inch space and ends up with a 6-inch space. That's exactly it. I end up with usually a 12 by 12 space. That's what I got. All right, so for this one, you guys, this was a scrap. So for those, so Debbie guessed, you're crafting along with me. Did I have, I'm guessing the answer is no, but did I have a piece of white underneath your golden ticket? Because I think, now that I think about it, it's not Gloria's fault, but I had Gloria help me lay out all the cards, and I was forgetful in grabbing a piece of white, I think, to put underneath everybody's golden ticket. So I'll have to make a note of that when I send out the PDF tutorial, that I think we missed putting a scrap of white, and we'll figure out how big of a scrap it needs to be. And if anybody needs, honestly, if anybody needs me to send white paper, I can do it. It's without fail that something always gets missed. I don't know how, except for that we are human. And nothing is automated at all. All right, almost there. So there is no die for this. So you are going to have to fussy cut this. And if you don't have pop-up petals, what other flower set do you have that could work to stamp some flowers to put with this pot? Sorry, just watching today. Okay, no worries, Debbie. All good. All right, so you do have this. And if you don't have this, what other flowers can you put in the front of here to kind of complete your ensemble of your floral arrangement? So we can get glue happy now. So let's put a little glue there. I'll put some glue here. And that fits nicely into the old olive circle. And then this should fit perfectly onto your mat. You could always dry fit it ahead of time too, just to make sure. And then this will get glued on the inside of the card. Yeah, old olive and fresh freesia are a great color combination. Okay, so there's that. And then we need a little tear-in tape for this guy on the side. You're gonna want to have one waiting in the wings and one the back left side bottom, like that. And you have 6 inches, what, 1, 2, 5 inches of the ribbon. So you're gonna do a loop, and a tail. But wait, before we do that, let's adhere our pot down and our flower, because then we can get a better idea of where we're gonna wanna put. And what we're gonna do for this, let's place the dimensionals back here already. So there's one that dips down more, and I think that actually faces the top. And so I'm going to capture with the one dimensional, we'll stick to it, and then this can set right on the circle. Okay, now we know that this part where the green meets the purple, that's where I want to start my ribbon, in that area. And I'm going to make a loop that's a little smaller, another loop that's a little bigger. Then as I bring my ribbon down, I'm going to go and bring it as close to the edge as possible and have it come down at an angle. Grab a ribbon scissors, and when you cut this, cut it to the length you want it to be, right? So something like that. And now you should be able to pick this piece up, twist it around, and have that hang down a little bit longer than that one. And you have no ribbon wasted at all. And then you have the tear-in tape that can go back here to hold that all down, right? So it used up all the ribbon. It's exactly where you want it. Then you can grab dimensionals. I'm gonna put it right over where that tear-in tape is, so it doesn't want to go flat there. And then this will go right onto the front of the card. So you can see that white ribbon really offsets nice against the purple. I'm going to have a little gold peeking out over here. And I could even go just a hair more. And then you're going to use the white pearls. And you'll have too big and a small, or too small and a big. And I've got them filling in that space right there. And what can you Stella? That's not the Stella I want. That one looks good. You could Stella your pot here, definitely. Give that a little bit of bedazzlies. And if you wanted, with your butterfly, if you want to Stella that, you can blend the ink around and maybe you'll get a little bit of purple blending into the middle. I think that's good enough. Yay. All right. We got our first one done. Very pretty. Nice little layout. Easy to reproduce this one. Not much craziness. All of the above. Okay, so one done. Yay. And next we'll go to whichever envelope is on the top here. Okay, we'll do the next one. So we'll save the hardest one for last. How does that sound? All right, so that goes here, and this one is next. All right, so we have Calypso Coral meets Petal Pink. Super cool. And it's all because the designer paper brings it together. So you have the swirl designs here, which is already embossed for you. You'll have a strip here for your sentiment. And then the white nested essential die cut. You'll have a coral matte rectangle and then a petal pink. And a vase that's already cut out of crumb cake. And then your piece of designer paper is perfect. It's a 3x4, so you can also get 12 of these out of one 12x12 sheet. But you're looking at it and you're thinking, oh man, How is that going to work? Well, we're going to have to put a tick mark here and a tick mark here and cut it diagonally, and one goes to the top and one goes to the bottom. So we're going to do that in a moment. And you have your double matting going on here. So we have a petal pink with a white for your inside. And then you have 6 inches of linen thread that's going to go around. Now, we're going to need to do some stamping of some sunflowers. And again, I think we missed putting some white paper in at this moment. I'm still agreeing with myself that we missed that. So we're going to need to grab a scrap of white and these sunflowers. And we stamped them in espresso. So you're going to want to grab the espresso ink. Let's go ahead and stamp them right there. Okay, so we did that in early espresso. And then on our inside, I've got them down in the bottom corner of the white mat here. Perfect, right there. And then we made this into a happy birthday card. So, happy birthday comes from Beach Boardwalk. So I didn't do my homework and I didn't grab that either. So we're going to go grab that. But before I do, let's clean this, that, and then the You Deserve All the Good Things. If I had to guess, that's from Creative Haven. So I will go grab that as well. Really quiet in here, you guys. Can you tell that I've been home for a little while and now the cats don't care about me anymore? They're off sleeping and snoozing somewhere. Last week they were on me like glue and didn't know what to do because I was gone for so long. All right, let me go grab Creative Haven and Beach Boardwalk. Okay, I misspoke. It's not Beach Boardwalk. It's called Boardwalk Fun. And then Creative Haven has You Deserve All the Good Things. So, if you guys were watching in the beginning, I said we like to keep things to one stamp set. Totally failed. Did that like resonate with anybody? They're like, wow, she's using a lot of stamps. A lot of stamp sets. Well, it's all words, right? And we all end up with different sets of words. And so it's finding the right size stamp that fits in the space we're given. So You Deserve All the Good Things fits really nicely on that little guy. And then happy birthday to you. We had birthday parties yesterday. So I was very lucky because Mary Lemke was here over the weekend and she helped me with the Leapers Crafting Retreat, which allowed me to go to my 2 little nieces had a double birthday party yesterday. So we had birthday party fun. So happy birthday to them. All right, so that's it for the espresso. All things espresso for this card, it looks like, for stamping. So let's clean you and you. Might as well put them all away right away. And so Creative Haven, it's a different stamp set. I really only used the You're the Best and You Deserve All the Good Things. These fit with dies. They've got some great dies. And they coordinate nicely with it. All right, done with these. Let's get coloring then. So for this one, we've got the colored pencils that got used. Now, if you want to use your blends, you can definitely do that too. We're going to grab the crushed curry and the old olive. I believe, oh, that's Cajun Craze. So we are going to go over here actually. Yeah, Catherine said she was wondering where the kitties are. Yeah, they're snoozing or they're up by Corman yet. So here's espresso, which will be good. We need that. We also need, we're going to use a little pumpkin pie and daffodil. How about those two? And then we need old olive. So I generally don't color the insides when I'm on a live just because it takes extra time. So these are the same. So if you feel inclined to want to color that, definitely color it. It just takes a little bit longer. So I'm going to use Old Olive to color in the leaves. And then we're going to use a little bit of espresso for the insides of the flowers. The more colored pencil you put on, the darker it'll be, and the lighter is if you use a little bit less. It's definitely a great thing to have a glass mat underneath because it really helps for you not to get the pencil lines as much. And then we're going to use a little combination of yellow and orange. So I'm going to go first with the daffodil and get all my petals colored. So we ended up making sunflowers is what we went for on this one. Okay. Oh, there's something with coloring that really uses uses the hand, and I don't color every day all the time. So it's like take a deep breath and pause in the middle if your hand gets sore, I guess, right? All right, so we got those dudes done, and let's move over to this one. So first thing is yellow, and then we're gonna fill in with a little bit of orange to give it a more rustic, fallsy look. All right, making it almost all the way around here. So now what? We're on the 23rd, so there's just what? 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. There's only like 5 days left of the month. There's a sign-up special yet going on. If you guys want to join Stampin' Up! And the Be Happy Stampers, you can get the Stampin' Positioner as a free gift. I'm just going to add in a little bit of orange into each one of these petals. Not a lot, just a little. The other thing too is it's bonus days that you earn them in January, and you have a few days left now to use your bonus day coupon. So make sure you guys don't let them go to waste. All right, so we added a little bit of orange. Then we need, so that all these colored pencils came from the same set here. They came from the one group. All right, so that's good. Now, again, you can color your insides. If you really, really, really want to zig-a-zig-ah, color them in. But we need to grab Swirl Designs and a blender pen. So let me find my blender pen. A blender pen. If you were a blender pen, where would you be? I don't even know if I have a blender pen around. I think we threw it away, and I wasn't diligent about restocking a blender pen down here. So you can grab your Stella pen. It'll work great with a Stella pen instead of your blender pen. But grab your Stella pen and use it to swirl the color around to make it softer. So we started with the brown. See, it just softens it a little bit, so that's good. And then it adds Stella at the same time. We don't want any brown in our marker or our Stella here, so we're gonna just wipe it out a little. Okay, that's good. Then we're gonna come over and do our green. And you just have to be careful. You don't wanna do too much because you don't want the ink that we use to stamp it to bleed all over. So now we're gonna clean this out. And then we're gonna do the petals next. So I'm just blending the yellow and the orange together. Not too much because I like a little bit of contrast, but I'm definitely filling in any of the white space that I missed. So sometimes I forget we can use our Stella pen to do our blending from our colored pencils. And then it Stellas it at the same time, which is super cool. There it is. So pretty. Okay. Now, if you would have colored both of these, you would have wanted to do both your browns at the same time, and then do your greens at the same time, and then do your petals at the same time. All right, just make sure you wipe it out in between each one. Julie says, do you have Do you have an old kit ordered with the metal pen as the gift in the box? Wow, I don't know if I understand that. Do you have an old kit ordered with the metal pan as the gift in the box? Do you have an old kit with the metal pan? Are you talking about the magnetic tray? That's the one I have here for you. Julie, I think that's what's here for you in your box is the Winter Creative Escape. Sorry. Yeah, I think that's the Winter Creative Escape that's here for you right now is the, I think it's the magnetic pan. I think that's what you're asking about. All right, so there's little bits of lines back here, and that is from a set that's called Swirled Designs. It's these guys right there. So let's just do that really quick, and that's going to be in the crumb cake and second strength, definitely. So let's grab this, grab a little scrap of paper, and first strength is going to be too dark, so make sure you stamp off. And then I've got some over here. Stamp off. Don't forget to stamp off. And then like that. Then I've got one across the top. And then over here. And then one more right there. So I didn't worry about the middle so much because it's going to get covered up. So I'm really zoomed in too. So that's it for crumb cake. Perfect. Scrap will fit there. And all right, what I did is I glued all these flat. So we're going to put glue behind these. Like that. And then this one will go here. You could dry fit before you get the glue on. That always does help in case you need to trim anything. And then, oh, I hear clip clop, clip clop. It's Hunky. I knew it was Hunky. He's a clip clopper. His little toes hit. Hi, buddy. What's up, handsome kitten? Oh no, Mom, what are you doing? This right here is 3/4 of an inch. And then I think that this was 3/4 of an inch. Yep. So how we do this paper is you want to grab a pencil. Oh, actually it doesn't matter. If you do the back, it doesn't matter. Okay. So you could put your tick marks on the top, but then you got to erase them. What's up, kitten? Yeah, I know you wanted to come up here. I know, I could see it in your eyes. Yeah, Mom, I just want to step on all your things. So just know that the tick mark needs to go up here and down here. So when I flip this over, I'm going to be putting my tick mark in this general area. Hi, kitten. And this general area. Hi. Hi, Mom. Hi, everybody. I'm surprised you woke up from your slumber. I know, I'm a snoozer. Okay, so I had just mentioned 3/4 of an inch. So what you're going to want to do is with your ruler, go to 3/4 of an inch and put a tick mark there. And now it's the other side though. So go down here and 3/4 of an inch right here. Okay, so we put our tick marks. And now because we did this on the back, now if you want to use this side, that's fine. You could have used this side, but I wanted to make sure I stick with that side. So because I have my pencil mark here, right, we're going to cut the paper from here to here. So grab your trimmer. What's up, buddy? You hear a noise, don't you? So we're going to line this up in the trimmer, and I'm going to put the tick mark right there. I don't know if you can see, probably not, but there's a tick mark there, and we're going to line it up to the tick mark there. Right? So it's going to cut it at an angle, right? So here to here, right? Now we flip this back over, and that's exactly what we needed. Hi, what's up? I need a box, Mom. I don't know, I'm falling asleep, but I need a box. I know you do, kitten. All right. Yeah, you're purring right now. You're a little purr monster. Yeah, so indecisive, buddy. Yeah, okay. Yep, I see what's happening here. It's okay, don't worry, kitten. I'll move over here. So we're gonna flip these like this, and we're gonna put glue. And we can also get glue happy with this piece right here. So let's do a little glue here, and then that, and that. All right, so this one, figure out how you want your embossed piece to be. And this one goes at the bottom here. And I'm gonna make sure the one taller side is flush, and then we'll see what happens over here. Looks like I'm gonna be a hair short, so I might trim the petal pink. And on this one, we're gonna put this one over here, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm flush on the same side. And if I'm short, then I gotta just trim off of one side. And it's actually pretty good. We're good to go, right? Then this piece right here goes with the other petal pink mat. Hi, Sarah Mitchell. Oh, Catherine says hi, Hunky. The girls were waiting for you, buddy. All right, then these both can get flipped over, and we'll go ahead and glue these. Hello, Deanne Dawn from sunny but cold Minnesota. All right, so then this one as well. So that one goes on the inside, like that. And then this other one, complete with the Hunkmeister's fur here. Can go right on the front. Cool. Then this guy, I popped this up with some dimensionals. Well, I guess I used a lot. We're going to put 9 of them, I guess. All right. And this just goes right to the front. Another layout where if you've got a really pretty pattern for designer paper, you can definitely split it like that and use it to make like this diagonal panel through the middle. Now, I had that needed to be at the top. So we're gonna make sure we do that. Now this is centered top to bottom, left to right, as best as you can get it. Cool. Then we've got this pot with the paper wrapped, or the linen thread wrapped around it, and then this guy. So there are dies for this. So if you go to your pile of dies, where the pop-up petals are, that one right there, that's actually the die that goes for this. And because it's a focal image, that is why we didn't die cut it for you ahead of time. So whenever there's stamping involved, we generally give you a scrap of paper, and then you can go ahead and stamp it and then die cut it. So we're gonna put this on here just to help. We colored it really pretty. We don't want it shifting on us. And we're gonna grab the die cutting machine, which is right here. I got the little baby blue in here. So tape it good. Bye, Hunky. Bye, Mom. I'm blowing this popsicle stand. I'm out of here. Tell us how you really feel. It's like you wouldn't give me any love. All right, we'll bring this back out when we do the next card too. Really pretty. Got that cut out really nice and didn't move on me, so I taped it. So what I'm going to do is adhere this behind there with a glue dot. So I'm going to put this glue dot right at the top of that vase, and then the stems. So what I did actually is they're a little wider. I'm going to cut this bit of white off the edge here. And then I'm also going, let's see if that worked. That allows me to get that down a little bit lower so that the stems aren't so tall there. I wanted them to be down in there. Then what you can do is take the linen thread and I hold it with my thumb here. And I've got maybe 2 inches there, and I'm gonna wrap it around like 3 times. 1, 2, and then a third. Now you should have enough here to make an overhand knot. right? And what you could do if you have a tweezers, you could hold that, and then that can be your third hand, and make an overhand knot. And then we're gonna make a true knot though. So that is the first one, and then I'm gonna use the tweezers again to hold that, and make one more tie on here. Now this does definitely work better if you have a friend that can help hold it, but the tweezers comes in a good pinch. So we did is we wrapped that around that neck of the vase 3 times, and then you can take your scissors, trim your tail, and then the vase I glued flat, and then I did pop up the flowery part, our sunflowers. So that part will get the dimensionals, and then we'll do liquid glue here. And then the sentiment is going to be popped up. So grab a few more of those. All right, so let's look at how we got this. What happens is this bottom edge of the white is flush with this edge of the white here, right? So you can see the exact amount of the coral, and it goes to the edge of the coral, and then this will slide in, and I didn't press that down yet, which it gives me the ability to wiggle this around yet. I've got it centered left to right. The flowers do go up above the nested essential die a little bit, but that looks good. And it's nice. And then this one uses the crumb cake pearls here, and you'll have 2 big and a small, or the opposite. So I'm going to use my big and my small together here, and then I have the opposite one, can go right there. Now, what you could Stella on this card would be the vase. I mean, you've already Stellaed the flowers, but you could also go through the effort here and put a little bit of Stella bedazzles on your crumb cake base. There you go. Now, it looks wet because there was rubbing alcohol added to that, and as that dries, the rubbing alcohol dries, the Stella shines through, and then the base is going to be all crumb cake and not two-tone like that. Thanks, Margine. All right, I think that's that one. Very good, very good. So I'm going to take a moment, let that sit there for a second, and we'll clean this other last stamp here. Whoever had the chamois wet is really wet. It's like, it is dense. It's full of water, like lots of water. All right, we can put this guy away. And the die can go back. So that little liney action, that came from this stamp set called Swirl Designs. And I think we're done with the Boardwalk Fun and the Creative Haven for right now. So the next card then can come over here, and we'll look at this guy. All right, so this is the last card kit. Now this is your Mac Daddy one. This one's gonna be intense, okay? I was just coming over here, Julie, because you were asking. Julie, you were asking about your box. So you do have kits from Julie Bierschbach. You have Kelly's 12 Days of Crafting Fun. And then, oh man, I got to replace these cookies. They're soft yet, but I think I'm going to eat those. And I'll have my mom make you some new gems. But this is the new gems, new cookies. This is your class, the Winter Creative Escape. So that is the one where the magnetic bowl is, okay? So you're good to go. All right, so that's what we've got for you, Julie. I do not see anything in there from Gina, right? So if there's anything you need from Gina, you should reach out to her. And if there's anything else you want from February, reach out to me as well and let me know. All right, so this is the one with our card with this pop-up petal. So this guy right here, that is if you're wondering, that is what this is here. That creates this little bit of decoration on the front. And then we used this one right here. Okay, so those are the dies from this one. All right. Coral and petal pink is a favorite combination of Debbie's. Nice. Yeah, it does look nice together. All right, so we've got our last envelope here. Let's see what we got going on. An empty envelope now, so that's good. And lots of coral and petal pink and green for this one. Okay. So when you open up all this, there's a lot going on. So you have 2 little squares of crumb cake, 2 little squares of designer paper, a vase that is embossed with the beautiful patterns, the beautiful people embossing folder. You have these 2 little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexagons that are odd shaped hexagons, right? Then this is the piece here that is die cut. So that die cut right here, you have 2 different sizes, and it cuts it here and here. And so we have this currently set up like this, right? So you're going to want to burnish it this way, but what really needs to happen is this guy needs to get popped out. So there, it makes a score line here and here. So when you shut this, right, pinch that with your fingers first. That'll help it will go flat. Right, so you've got that, and then burnish that. So it's creating the pop part of this card. So this one here is coral. Coral. You're going to want to burnish that as well. And ultimately, this is going to get glued on the inside of this. Like that. So when it shuts, it's flat. When it pops out, we're going to have flowers in there. All right. Then there's another Nested Essentials, and it says, if friends were flowers, I'd pick you. And we already determined that I didn't give everybody the piece of white. So we're going to need just a little bit more of a scrap here, okay? We'll get to that. We'll tell you everything you need to stamp on this extra little scrap, right? So for everybody who got the class with me, if you need me to send you a little chunk of white paper, I can do that. And otherwise, go to your scrap bin, and hopefully you've got some white paper you can use. This is the Lovely and Beautiful designer paper, which will go here. Now everybody's are going to look slightly different. You can see here I've got a big flower on both of these, but this one has a little flower. So it just depends on how the paper got cut. You might get something more big, and you might have something more small, or I should say bigger or smaller. So that will eventually go on the front there. And this is already cut, folded, and embossed for you. And so I don't know if you need to burnish this anymore. It's pretty good because it got all embossed at the same time as it was folded. And then you've got some of this rick-rack ribbon. It's the old olive rick-rack. So it should be, I'm guessing, like 7 or 8 inches. We'll get to that in a moment. And then a quarter sheet here that is a 5.5 by 4 1/4. All right. So we have to make sure that we have enough ribbon here that goes around the edge of this piece. And so what we're going to have to do is measure a little bit here. Right? And 2 things. You could cut it, but then you're only left with this amount. And what I did is I made an overhand knot and put it over the top. So the easiest thing to do really is make your overhand knot while you have a full piece of ribbon and bring the knot all the way to the edge. Right? So something about like that, right? And then what happens is after you cut this here, you should still have plenty of ribbon. And it just made it easier for you to cut it while it was one long piece versus a short piece, right? So when you cut that, you cut it at an angle. The one side should be perfect, and we just got to trim the other one. And then now you have enough here, like that, right? So this inside here, we're going to want to make sure we put adhesive here. Now, you could use your tear and tape, that's 1/4 inch, and cut it in half. Or, through the years, the girls have given me, in pillow gifts, they've given me 1/8 inch ribbon, or 1/8 inch tear and tape, or sometimes it's in our paper pumpkin kits too. But the 1/8 inch works out perfect because it keeps it really close to the edge. And I'm just going to add, and don't worry, it doesn't have to be all the way down there unless you really want it to be. And then here I'm going to put it really close to the edge here as well. You could use liquid glue, but you have to be very careful and make sure it doesn't ooze all over the place. I'm going to go back and just put that there. All right, don't worry if you go over the edge, because when you fold it up, it's okay to have a little overlapping of the tear and tape. All right, so now this can get shut. Right? So what you did is just created a little pocket for your card to go in. And now we can add a little bit more tear and tape on the back side. So you'll want 2 waiting in the wings, and then 2 to go at the back here. So like that. Now, you might not want to guess where the ribbon goes, so I'll show you what I did probably. I think what I did. Let's grab this, and it says, if friends were flowers, I'd pick you. Let's see if that's in. It's not. All right. We definitely pulled in a lot of stamp sets with words. So where do you think that this one comes from? We can take a look. Oh, man. Jolene, Jolene, Jolene. I don't know where my recipe card is, but you know how I can find it really fast? Because I have... I'm not going to guess where that's from. I honestly can't think of where it is off the top of my head, but I've got the temporary PDF here. I can pull up this card really fast if it opens very nicely and see if I can figure out the stamps. Pop-up Petals, Sunshine and Tulips. I bet that's it. Let me look for that really quick. Ha ha ha, it is. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Let's show you what the sunshine and the tulips look like. If friends were flowers, I'd pick you. That's good. Very good. See, Jolene, it's good you got the tutorial to me before, because otherwise I'd have to go hunting for my recipe card in the drive. But when you stamp your if friends were flowers, I'd pick you, you do want to stamp it more to the right than the left, because the vase covers up part of it. Oop, some of that K needs to have ink on it. There we go. So to the right, more to the middle, then the middle, like, right? Yep, that's perfect. Okay. So that's that. Then we have our little scrap here, and we need to stamp the rose. I just heard the song, The Rose. I mean, I've heard it in the past, but it just came up on YouTube the other day. And they say, love, it is a flower. Da, 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 da. That song, you guys, The Rose. So pretty. All right, you don't need the whole thing. So we're just needing a little bit of it. It's perfect. That's all you need. Now, let's see what's on the inside of this. We have more sunflowers, 3 tulips, and sending a garden of love. All right. So we need this one and this one, and then that sending a garden of love. If I had to guess, that is from the tulips as well. Some say, now that might be in my head all day. Do, do, do. It's a perfect wedding song, I think. I remember. All right, so we need one of these dudes. Put you right there. And then we need 3 of these wee little ones. 1. And then 2, 3. So it wasn't quite a quarter sheet of paper. It was probably like, right, if this was 5 1/4, it was a 4 by 4 is what you need for scrap, for what we missed putting into your kits. And then sending a garden of love. And that one is from the tulips here. That guy. So I have that stamped to the top right corner here. So let's grab that piece out of here. You want to make sure that this is die cut lower because the flowers are popping up. So this is the top corner here where we were going to do sending a garden of love. Oh, it's crooked. It's okay. It's okay. We can live with it, right? Yep. It's all right. You get like one shot. Well, I lied. You could probably go like this and flip it this way and get another chance. All right, we get second chance. We can try again. All right. As long as, see, the thing is with the white paper, sometimes you can see the ink through it, but when we glue it, we probably will be fine. So let's try again. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Let's see. So what's happening is this block, sometimes if the block is too small and you can't see the edge, it makes it harder to stamp. So if you have a little bit bigger of a block, now you can see all the way around. And that's stamped better. Still downhill, but that's okay. We're good. All right, I think that's it for stamping then. So back to this guy. We were working on this front part. So I wasn't quite certain where to put the ribbon, right? So like, let's say you're at home and you're like, oh, I don't know exactly where to put the ribbon. What I would do is stage my dimensionals on this Nested Essential white die cut piece here, and only pop off the top ones, okay? So by popping off the top ones, and you can't, it's really hard to see that, but there is that's where that ends. And it is centered top to bottom in this section, and then to the right. But because these bottom ones are still, the backs are still on, it allows us to put the ribbon where we want it underneath. Okay, so there's that. And now we've got this ribbon. Let's go ahead and pick these off. So now I can kind of eyeball how much I want by lifting this up. Now I have a better gauge of where to put this. And this rickrack is kind of stretchy. Like, you can pull it tight or you can leave it a little bit looser, but we're gonna put it right about there and right about there. And then you can put the tear and tapes that were waiting in the wings on. Handmade, not Hallmark. It was fine. Yep. But it did go to show you that you could flip it back to the other side if you wanted to, right? All right, so we can pick these off now. And then a little bit of liquid glue back here. And that goes right onto that quarter sheet of Old Olive. Good. Now we have these guys. So the flowers get colored. Lots of coloring. We're gonna grab these again. So the coral and Old Olive are what we need for the rose. So we're gonna have the leaf in Old Olive and this other leaf as well in Old Olive. We're gonna use Old Olive on our little tulipies. It does help if you have a little bit sharper of a pencil, especially for this stem. It'll fit in there better. All right, and then we also need Old Olive on all of these leaves, but there's not that many. I feel like there's only 5. Okay, I don't think I missed anything. Then we've got coral for the rose. So that is Calypso coral, so that matches perfectly. And then our insides, those flowers, I did 2 corals and a purple. And for the sunflower, I did brown and the daffodil. So we have 2 corals here and a purple. So that's coral. And then purple must come in this one right here. So the other watercolor pencils, there's a purple one. You can see we used that one. It's a little bit shorter. So I used that for this other flower here. And then espresso will be the centers of our sunflowers. Oh, and then our favorite thing, all the little petals. And you can mix them and make them more corally with the yellow, or you could just do straight up yellow. Better both inside and outside. Solid bottom middle. Solid Bette Midler. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it came up on the YouTube. I was watching something. I don't remember what. I honestly don't. I don't know. But it was about 3 or 4 days ago, and all of a sudden the rose came up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't heard this song in a long time. It was played a lot in the 90s at weddings. I remember that. So, all right. Making fast action of our coloring right here. I think what I'm going to do is tying in the coral. I'm going to add just a little bit of the coral pencil as well. That was daffodil. Just a little bit. Some lines going through. You might not even see it from the camera, but it does add a little bit of pink to the sunflowers. Okay, so that's it for coloring. I think that's enough for one day. Oh, you feel that. Now you're going to grab your Stella pen, though. So we're going to go first with, what are we going to do first? I think we'll go for the coral first. And I tried to do a really good coloring job to begin with so that they weren't all streaky. But you got to be really careful with this rose because the brown ink is going to get consolidated with the coral and it's just going to look matted a little bit. So I'm going to go really fast over the top of it and try not to swirl it too much. Okay, so that's it for the pink. Let's go for the green on everything. All right, just a little bit more. I'm not even going to attempt the stems. That's good for the green. And I'll do brown. Looks good. And then I don't even know. Do we want to do yellow? It's all good. Looks good. Looks good. Very nice. Very nice. All right. What I would do is cut these guys apart. And we'll end up die cutting them. There was, for the sunflowers, there was a die cut. Ooh, I got really close to that guy. Eek. All right, so those are all cut apart. From a 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, that's what I had left, right? So that's what kind of a scrap you guys will need for this one. All right, dies. Let's grab our dies. So this one and the rose and this one. Let's grab you. We'll have to make a few passes because there are 3 of this tulipy looking one. And then there's only 1 of all the rest of them. So that looks good. And 1 more piece of tear and tape. Oh man, zoom out. Yeah, I can't say I ever sung the rose for you guys on a live. That must have been a first. I don't know all the words though. I don't know a lot of words to a lot of songs. I just make them up as I go. All right. Okay, let's grab this and that. Of course, they're stuck together. Oh man. Oh, I didn't want to go. One moment, please. Let's back it up, back it up. Get it lined up nice. Hang on, you guys gotta see this action. There it is. Can't leave you out in the cold here. Hi, Donna Rose. No worries. I have more physical therapy tomorrow morning for my foot. So I totally get it. It's important to have that physical therapy. I wish I would have done it like 2 years ago. No, a year and a half ago. All right, there's one. We're just on the last card. So that's the wonderful thing about replays, though, is that you'll be able to catch the replay and see everything that we did. All right, so there's that. Yeah, we're almost done die cutting, and then we get to do all the final assemblies for this card. That one. And that's done. Let's see. Oh, we'll save you. All right. Die cutting complete. Oh, you're not saving. Okay. It's nice to have that little one because it doesn't take up quite as much space as the big one. All right, so with the vase over here, we're going to do the same thing that we did with the last. We're going to take a little glue dot, or whatever we did the vase. We're going to take a little glue dot, put it behind the vase at the top, and you can bring your rose into it. Something like that. And now what happens is I've got, oh, let's see here. I did pop that up, but I don't think it should. It's kind of thick. So come over here with the card. This is already popped up. So what we're going to do is put this flat, and we're going to stage a dimensional back here to help with stability of our flower. So this is going to go here. So we're going to put a dimensional there to help support the flower head. You don't want to have anything going up over the top because it would stick. So this will get glued flat like that. And I've got that flush along the bottom. Okay, so that's good, right? And then we have our little rickrack overhand knot. I would grab two glue dots, and we're going to put them off to the side here, and then adhere that overhand knot on the side there. And you can use your ribbon scissors. So this stuff does fray, I will say that. It does kind of give it character, I guess. But we've got the little overhand knot on the side there, glued down nice and flat. I did forget, we need to take those off yet. Those backs that are back here, right? Let's get those off. And what's going to happen is that's going to stick to the ribbon. But then the ribbon's going to be flippy floppy, so like that picks up the ribbon. I think I'm going to sneak a little piece of tear and tape back here just to help hold that ribbon flat. So I'm going to set that there. And then if you have your tweezers, you can pick that off. That'll help the ribbon stay flat. Now it won't want to shuffle up and down. Okay. That might be good for the outside at the moment. Yay. Okay, making progress. Now to the inside. You ready for it? All right, so this is pretty much buttoned up. It's this piece right here. That is our card. All right, so this can get glued onto the front. Make sure you figure out how you want your flower to look, right? I think I'm gonna go like that. That should fit right in your crumb cake. Calypso coral piece. All right, just like that. All right, so that's easy. Now this part, okay. Let's see if I can prop that up like that so you guys can kind of see. There, okay. No, well, let's move it like that. All right, so what do we have going on? We need these pieces right here. And what happens is you can see that those are Calypso coral, but these are white. you either need to grab a sponge dauber or you need to grab a blending brush. And this paper is all different pattern throughout it. So you're gonna have, like in this case, I got big flowers and small flowers. It's just decoration, right? So what you're gonna wanna grab a sponge dauber or the blending brush. And I would vote for, I think, a sponge dauber in this case. So I gotta go grab a sponge dauber really quick, and we're gonna pull in the Calypso Coral ink. Oops, that's Flirty Flamingo. So one moment, let's grab the Calypso Coral, and I gotta go grab a sponge dauber really, really quick. So give me 10 seconds or 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. All right, small little area. So you might get some inky fingers with this one. But whenever you have white designer paper with this foiling like this, you can make it whatever color your heart desires. All right, so we've got that. Now we want to do the other one. This is also the lovely and beautiful designer paper. Perfect. Right, you can add color, you can't take it away. So get it to the point you like it. And that was Calypso Coral. Can you verify the size of the DSP and crumb cake squares? Sure can. Yep. So these little guys are 1 inch by 1 inch. And then this is 1 1/8 by 1 1/8. All right, so now that you've got these 2 done, you can go ahead and glue the designer paper onto the little crumb cake square. All right, and then figure out how you want to see them. I think I'll go like that, because you have these little hexagons, and there's a crease in the middle, like a little score line. All you have to do is take and fold it on that score line for both of them. And then what we're gonna do is put liquid glue on the inside and glue them over the top of the flap. And we're gonna actually glue these first so that the back of the flap goes to the inside. So there's this one. I'm gonna put it on this side. Like that. I'm gonna grab this one. Let's put a little glue. Just like that. So they kind of meet in the middle, right? So when this folds, you gotta be careful, right? So you wanna make sure that they're not jammed too far into that corner or that corner. What happens now is if there's any one that's hanging over, you are gonna need to take your scissors and trim it. But this is perfect, actually. It overhangs, like you can see here, that it, well, you maybe can't see it, but it overhangs slightly, but it's okay. Right? It's all right, that'll work. You just don't want it to be too tight in the corner here. All right, now these little guys. What we're gonna do, we've got them folded, so they should go easy. We're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of glue on the back side of each one of these. That, and then, whoa. God, talk about getting glue. This is some detail work here, guys. So this is gonna hang over the top of this. Now, I'm pretty sure this is what was intended with this die. So you gotta make sure you hold it, otherwise it's gonna come undone. And like Duran Duran. And then that one can go there. All right, so we're building our little box, our flower box, right? Right, so that's what we've got so far. And now we're gonna put our tulips and our sunflowers in. See, that didn't stay. So we're gonna make sure we use the heat from our fingers and let that glue bond onto there nicely. All right, so then this one right here, we're gonna put a little bit of liquid glue And how this one is, it's tucking out the left-hand side. And so what you're going to do, I didn't put any glue down here, which is all right. This hangs off the edge like this. And I kind of angled it like that. And it's okay. If you put glue here, that's fine. It'll eventually stick to the back, but there's that one. And then I've got one coral one and then the two over on this side. He's like medium height, he's a little taller, and then he's a little shorter. So we're gonna grab the little shorty doo-wop over here. I'm gonna put a little glue right there and bring that one a little bit further down. So what I'm doing is I'm gluing it to the back inside. Right, so that one's tucked down a little bit further. And then this purple one, again, putting the glue on the top of where we colored. And this one's going behind it. And a little bit taller. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a rabbit in a hat. I would call her. You guys know that one? Oh man, it stuck to my finger. Hang on. Hold the phone. Didn't mean for that to happen, but I guess I have glue on my index finger. So let's, just so that might happen to you too. All right. Ah, one moment, please. If the glue doesn't want to stick, it means it needs a little more help. So let's pinch it a little tighter. All right, then this one, somewhere in the middle. Put a little bit of glue right there. And this one's off over to this side. I don't know, something like that. And before we get crazy, we're gonna shut it to make sure it shuts okay. But I think that's about it for this inside. So, all right, let's see if it shuts. Oh, it still shuts. That's good news, good news, good news. I like it. Perfect. So then what we're gonna do is put a little bit of glue. I'm gonna do the left side and then I'll do the right side. So we're gonna do this side first. Don't put glue right there, okay? All right. So kind of nestle it in the fold, and I'm gonna try to make sure it's straight all the way around, right? So that looks good. I'm gonna shut it, make sure it shuts. Then I'm gonna flip this side and add here, complete with a caffer. Of course, that's how it would go. This one, like that. All right, so let's shut that. Hopefully, if it's like this one, it ended up that it was about even, I think. Looks good. All right, so now that kind of looks similar, right? The only difference really is the designer paper there, what you have. I have that one a little darker, and I actually like that a little bit better. A little bit darker. Add a little more color over there. All right. And that's our little card in a card. So this gets shut, and what we can do is set that in here. Like that. And then we have gems that we can put on it. So the gems, the ones that I have left are the coral ones, coral. And let's see here. I mixed and matched these. I can tell that right now because these three have gems. So those 3 gems are there. And then what we're going to do is I've got 2 small and a big this time. So I'm going to take my big one and maybe put one there, and then the other odd duck can go right there. All right, so, I don't like the angles of that. So if you want, if you didn't push them down a lot, you can pick them up. And let's see if we go like that, and maybe like that. And gems can be the easiest thing or the hardest thing. So, that's all right. We'll leave them right there. So once you have them where you want them, then press them down good. That's it. So when somebody gets this, they're gonna be able to pull this out and pop of flowers or pop up flowers. There it is. Okay. I like it. I love it. We did it. We got them done. What is it? Oh, it's just a few minutes after 3. We did good. Okay. So we got them all done. So we definitely gave Petal Pink, and we gave Calypso Coral and the Old Olive a lot of love today. Oh, there's my ticket. Perfect. There's the golden ticket. And so now you can see we've got 3 vertical cards and a little bit of fresh freesia in there, but pretty much our pinks and our corals went into play here. So, all right, Connie Moore, we'll check you later. All right, and Jolene, you got the measurements. I hopefully answered all the questions you had in the tutorial. And so if you want to resend an updated tutorial and let Karen and me know that it's, well, Karen especially know that it's updated, then she won't look at the older one. That would be good. And for everybody else, again, the tutorial will be sent out very soon. As soon as we have it proofread, we'll make sure to get it into everybody's inboxes. But what's your favorite? You know, you think that purple's my favorite, but I'm between these two for a favorite. I love the diagonal slicing of the designer paper. I don't think to do that all the time, and we had gotten a card in, I think, is where we cased that from. And we also cased this card from somebody. I'm trying to remember who it was. Oh. I gotta think about who that was. We cased where they had a little card like that on the inside like that. It really helped give us the idea to do this one, and it really gets to showcase how these dies work. So if you've bought in this pop-up Petals, now you can kind of see how these 2 dies are getting used and in action. So I like the idea of this one, but I'm drawn to this one. I like that diagonally a lot. So the split card, oh, Debbie Gass said the split card is her favorite. And Margene said, your favorite is all. I love it. Good. And Susan Bellamy loves them all. Susan Bellamy. I just was talking with Kelly yesterday, and she said that she sent you the Beekeeper's Guide to proofread. So keep us in the loop if you need help looking at it, or if you're going to be able to complete that soon. As soon as you have it up proofread, we're going to put it out in the drive for people to have. It must be version 6 of the Beekeeper's Guide. So just keep us posted if you need help, or if you think you'll have it done soon. That'd be awesome. We appreciate you looking at it for us. You always find things for us. We know that we can rely on you to find our errors. And we never do it intentionally to make you find things, but it may feel like that. So, all right, let me do a little drawing. I do have people that placed an order to get this class for free, and I have that noted in my book, you guys. I'm so excited. Mary Lemke really helped me a lot this weekend with the Leapers Crafting Retreat. People generally, they work on their own projects, and Mary helped me get a lot of stuff ready for it and the 4 make and takes, and she helped to make sure everything ran smoothly, which allowed me on Saturday afternoon to spend a little more time in my emails, getting bookwork caught up, and that is always amazing to be feeling like you're a little bit caught up with the bookwork. So I think my book is up to date. And if I look in here, we can see how many people placed orders to get this class for free. And so we have 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8. Awesome. So we'll do a random number generator for 8 people, and we'll see who the lucky duck winner is for the drawing for today. So let me get to the random number generator, and we'll put 8 in here, and we'll hit generate. Number 1, wonderful, is Kathy Dolly Nagari. Yay, Kathy, awesome sauce. All right, well, I will have a little door prize for you, and that's good. Okay, so it is a little bit after 3. I think it's 3:05. I'm gonna go facilitate and compose an email to the Paper Palooza people, letting them know what the links are for all the videos for this week in one email. So then when those who registered get the email, they'll be able to watch us as we're doing the live. I think in the past what we did is we recorded them we recorded them without you guys being live with us, but I wanted to do that different this time. I wanted to get the tutorial out, and then you guys would have the links to watch with us. And so you'll be able to still watch with us, and as soon as we have the tutorial ready, we'll be emailing. And I will put that in the email to you saying that we don't have the tutorial done, but you can still watch us do the live, because 55 of you already have the Paloozas at your homes right now, which is pretty cool. I think there are about 30, maybe 25 or 30 that we're mailing out for the month of March. And so so for the people that are getting the March, you'll have the PDF and the tutorials at the same, the PDF and the videos to work on it all collectively. So perfect. Yeah, good job, Mary. She did a wonderful job. All right. So I will be back at 6 o'clock also for mystery card night. Yay. I got to go pull my pieces. It's going to be a great card for you. We're going to have a creative cut, the director's creative cut for it as well. So we'll make 2 cards is my plan. One as per the instructions, and one how I would tweak it and put my little twist on it. And so yes, we got lots of lives coming up for you yet. We've got the Palooza here that we'll do in a moment, maybe within like 45 minutes, and then we're going to switch gears and go right to the mystery card night. So yay. All right, I'm gonna get things cleaned up, and we'll see you back here soon. Lots of love and big hugs and sunshine to you. We'll see you later in a little bit. Bye.